Thank you for coming along this afternoon to this Indie Training Fund copyright seminar, which is called Intro to Music Copyright. My name is Ivan Chandler. I run a company called Musicalities that specialises in music supervision, music copyright and music publishing for the entertainment industry. The first thing I'm going to do is to let you know that in terms of music copyright, essentially it is fairly simple. The basics of music copyright are fairly simple, but there are lots of little intricacies. How can I find a way to remind everybody else and remind ourselves with my company of the things that we need to think about? So I came up with this kind of quirky de-scrambler device, which, as you can see, says don't ever use music without checking the song or composition, the recording of that song or composition, the artists and musicians, collectively known as performers, whether or not you're covered under a blanket license, and, unfortunately, lots of exceptions to the rule. The good news is that when you are dealing with music, the only three things, even though I've mentioned blanket licenses and exceptions to the rule, the only three things you really ever need to think about are these 3 points. Scram. The song or composition, the recording of that composition, and the people who perform the music. Because if you think about it, if we didn't have performers, you wouldn't actually be able to hear music. So, of that tune you heard on the birthday card, just quick hands up, how many people think that song is out of copyright and you wouldn't need to get permission? So how many people think that you would have to get permission to use Happy Birthday to You? How many people don't care? Yes. So that means at 1 second after midnight on January the 1st, 2017, anybody in this room, anybody in the world, can use Happy Birthday to You without getting permission. Nice to know, isn't it? Except when somebody comes along and makes a new arrangement of a piece of music that's out of copyright, they can claim the copyright in that arrangement. There are 3 elements about this clip that I think are also very pertinent to today. First of all, hopefully you can see it as an illustration of where somebody's made a new arrangement of an out of copyright piece of music. So, you know, if you wanted to have somebody just singing, oh happy day, that's out of copyright. As soon as you start using a special arrangement, you have to get permission from the copyright owner of that arrangement, as if they have written the song themselves in the first place. The other 2 things are that, which will lead us on to the next section, which is about the copyright of the sound recording. We're actually talking here not just about somebody singing the song, but actually about a recording of that particular work. Because there's a separate and distinct copyright in a song or literary work, musical work, to the copyright in the recording of that particular work. They're 2 separate things. The first thing, when we get on later to talking about how you apply for licenses and negotiate for clearances, is that the first thing that people want to know is, how are you using the music? Is this going to affect my artist's career? Are they going to be happy with it? So even though mostly you can say it's all about the money, it's not when it comes to music and stuff. So let's say you decide to use a song, whether it's going to be a recorded song or somebody singing it with guitar, some humming it, whistling it, a steel band, whatever it might be. Who are you going to call? And when I say synchronisation, I mean the copying or recording of music in time relation with the film. So at the end of the day, all you're looking for, and it can be a very complicated process sometimes, is the right to be able to record onto the soundtrack of the television programme you're making a particular song. It's not owned by the people who perform the music or sing it or produce it. Copyright and sound recordings are owned by the person or entity who make the arrangements for the recording to be made.